He knew a lot about my issues with trust and previous people cheating on me. Yes, technically not cheating, I get that. But and also, regardless of all the baggage, he was literally meant to be in my bed 2 days later.
I understand. It's not tasteful.
It's not tasteful.
So here's the thing. One thing that I think can end relationships before they even start is having unexpressed expectations.
Sure, yeah.
And it sounded like you had an expectation of him.
Yeah.
Right? That you hadn't expressed to him.
Completely.
So I understand where you're coming from. But if you have an expectation, if someone has an expectation of you and you don't fulfill that, right? Then how can they hold you responsible for not meeting that expectation when they didn't even know that was what you had?
Yeah, and that's an absolutely fair point. But I also think that...
Because did you not wonder of having the conversation of, oh, I would like us moving forward, it's just you and me?
Yeah, and I genuinely was about to have that conversation with him. He was about to be spending a week with me.
Okay.
And I thought that that's where those conversations were going to happen.
What month was this into? How long have you been seeing each other at this
So
point?
we met in October. This would have been April. It's like 6 months.
Okay.
Bearing in mind we had that little hiatus in the middle.
Okay.
And yeah.
At what point did you stop seeing other people?
After that Christmas hiatus.
Okay. And at what point in your head would you have liked him to stop seeing other people?
Probably around March, April time. Because it was like we were making plans consistently to see each other.
So it was around the same time they slept with someone else that you were going to...
Yeah.
Okay. So up to that point though, if you slept with someone else, you don't have to like it.
Sure.
But could you not have understood?
I could have understood. Do you know what? Even if he'd done it 2 weeks before coming to see me, I could maybe have understood more. It's the fact that you have the audacity and the disrespect to come and do that 2 days before you meant to be in my house. I literally was texting him at the party he was at, where he met the girl that he then went and slept with. I was like, at no point when you'd literally been speaking to me maybe 3 or 4 hours previous, did you go, what will Kaylee think about this? And he literally went, yeah, but I just didn't care enough in the moment. And I was like...
Well, I think... So I understand that. I do understand that. I think what it is, it's... If you've not had that conversation...
Yeah.
And if he's... Because technically...
But
nothing wrong happened, right?
Sure, and I
because
get that.
Because if you did the same thing, he wouldn't like it, but he couldn't be
But this is what I am trying to get at.
Okay.
This idea of technicality.
Yes.
Being the overarching, well, technically we're not in a relationship, so I can do it. Where it's like, and I get that this experience is quite niche because we were probably moving towards a relationship. If you're in a casual relationship with someone, fine. Because technically you're not in a relationship. But if you do something... Okay, it's a bit like this, right?
Go on.
If I came over and just slapped you in the face...
Yes.
Now, technically...
But you did do something wrong.
Wait.
You would be doing something wrong because you're putting your hands on me.
Yeah, but because I know you wouldn't like me slapping you in the face, right?
Yeah.
You know
But also that's the wrong thing to do though.
Okay. If I know that you hate being tickled,
yeah,
and I come over and I just start tickling you relentlessly, okay,
yes.
And I know you hate it, and you know that I know you hate it, you would be like, why are you tickling me? If I've had a conversation with someone where I've gone, look, I've had these issues before in the past with someone, blah, blah, blah. Yes, technically, he could go ahead and sleep with someone else. But should he, knowing full well it will hurt me, and he's seeing me in 2 days' time?
So I agree. Like I'm not
thinking
just
about tickling you.
Literally, I'm like, she's about to come over here. I'm so scared. So look, I'm not trying to say what he did is the way we should be moving.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I think what I'm trying to say is that, okay, let's say I go away, right? And you're going to look after my place while I'm away.
Yeah.
And I say, anything that's in the place, make yourself feel at home.
Yeah.
And then I come back and you've eaten my chocolate Frosties and I'm pissed off because that's my favourite chocolate Frosties.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm having a go at you, like, why did you eat it? Mm-hmm. You're going to say to me, well, I didn't know that I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah, sure.
That's an unexpressed expectation that I put on you. Again. So here's the thing. Now, I could go to you, oh, I've had it in the past, people eating my food. I don't like that. So I could be like, well, you know I don't like it when people eat my shit. Mm-hmm. So why are you eating my shit?
Yeah.
Right? But just because of what happened in the past, that doesn't mean that... It doesn't mean that you shouldn't express expectations you have to the person today.
Yeah, completely. That I take. That was my wrongdoing, for sure. But do I think that... I still don't think his behaviour was respectful.
I'm not saying it was.
This is where, it comes into this more overarching thing of like, do men and women just feel about this differently?
Yes.
You don't watch Love Island, but for those of us that watch Love Island,
I've watched it before.
Casa Amor has just happened, which is
I know
the
what that means.
ultimate test. I hate the word test after this series of Love Island because it's just annoying. Basically, all the girls went off to Casa Amor and the boys are left in the villa, and generally speaking, all the boys just went, yes, and just got off with like all the girls. And then when they've been found out, when they've come back and the girls have been told whatever, they're all getting like, I don't understand. They're getting confused about why the girls are hurt. And it's this same thing of like, yeah, but we're not in a relationship.
Yes.
I thought it was a test. And I had to explore the other connections to make sure I knew that you were the one. See, you can even see the bullshit.
No, it's not bullshit. Okay.
It's bullshit.
Okay, so
bullshit.
one thing okay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
This guy that you were seeing, and you were being intimate with, and in your head you're like, this could lead somewhere.
Yes.
Did you want to be sleeping with anyone else?
No.
Okay, that's the difference between men and women.
Sure.